It was supposed to be just another quiet afternoon at the pharmacy. But when an elderly man walked up to the counter, his hands shaking as he checked his empty wallet, the young pharmacist had a choice to make. He didn't know that this one act of kindness would lead to an unexpected revelation, one that would change both their lives forever. Stay with us for an incredible story of generosity, honor, and a shocking truth that no one saw coming. Michael was an 82-year-old man who had lived a long and eventful life. But now, in his golden years, life wasn't easy. His pension barely covered rent, and every month he had to choose between food and medication. His body was getting weaker, and he needed his heart pills to survive. One chilly afternoon, Michael slowly walked into the local pharmacy. His usual prescription was ready, but as he reached into his pocket, he felt his heart sink. His hands trembled as he pulled out his wallet, empty. He had miscalculated his expenses this month, and now he didn't have enough to pay. He looked up at the young pharmacist behind the counter, his voice barely above a whisper. I think I need to come back another day," he said, his eyes filled with shame. "I don't have enough money right now." The young pharmacist, Daniel, saw the pain in the old man's eyes. He had seen this happen before. Seniors struggling to afford the very medicine that kept them alive. But something about Michael was different. Maybe it was the quiet dignity in his voice, or the way he tried to smile despite his situation. Daniel made a split-second decision. Without hesitation, he quietly pulled out his own wallet and swiped his card. Michael's eyes widened. "Son, you don't have to do that," he said, shaking his head. Daniel just smiled. "It's all right, sir. Just promise me you'll take your medicine, okay?" Tears welled up in Michael's eyes. He reached out and squeezed Daniel's hand. "You're a good man," he whispered. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Daniel thought that was the end of it. Just another good deed, another day at work. He had no idea that tomorrow everything would change. The next day, as Daniel was stocking shelves, the pharmacy door swung open. A tall man in a military uniform stepped inside, his presence commanding attention. He looked around before locking eyes with Daniel and walking straight toward him. "Are you Daniel?" the man asked. Daniel nodded, confused. "Yes. Can I help you?" The man took a deep breath, then extended his hand. "I'm James, Michael's son." Daniel's heart skipped a beat. "Michael, the elderly gentleman from yesterday? Is he okay?" James nodded, his expression unreadable. "He's fine, but there's something you need to know." Daniel braced himself as James reached into his pocket and pulled out an old, faded photograph. In it, a young soldier stood in uniform, his eyes full of determination. James handed it to Daniel. "That's my father. 50 years ago, he was a war hero. He saved dozens of lives during his service, but he never talked about it. He never asked for recognition. He just wanted to live a simple life." Daniel looked at the photo, then back at James. I had no idea." James smiled. "Not many do. But when he told me about what you did for him yesterday, I knew I had to find you." Daniel furrowed his brows. "Find me? Why?" James reached into his pocket again, this time pulling out an official document. "My father qualifies for a Veterans Assistance Program, but he never applied for it. He didn't want to take what he thought belonged to others. But because of you, he finally agreed. And now—" James handed Daniel a letter. "He wanted me to give you this personally." With shaking hands, Daniel unfolded the letter and began to read. His eyes widened. It was a scholarship, a full scholarship for pharmacy school, sponsored by a Veterans Foundation in Michael's name. Daniel looked up in disbelief. I don't know what to say." James smiled. "Say yes. My father believes in giving back, and now it's his turn to help you." That day, Daniel realized something profound. A small act of kindness could ripple into something much greater than he ever imagined. Because he had chosen to help a stranger in need, his own future had changed forever. Michael, the quiet war hero, had spent his life giving to others. And in the end, that kindness had come full circle. The pharmacist who had saved him had been saved in return. We never truly know the impact of the kindness we show to others. Sometimes it comes back to us in the most unexpected ways. So the next time you see someone in need, ask yourself, what would you do? Because you never know when one small gesture might change everything. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming real-life stories. See you in the next one.